3 of this introduction to my current bonsai starter collection. If you haven't watched the other parts, this is for www.onemanandhisbonsai.co.uk. Moving onwards to the next tray of trees that I have, this is another one of the Bonsai, shall we say, trees. This is the other Carmona that was picked from us in a supermarket store several months ago. Again, transplanted out of the pot that it came in and moved into something a little bit more suitable and also a little bit larger, because this one had really big root structure going on. It was very root bound, and I think it was in danger of dying because there just wasn't anywhere for it to go. So it had quite a healthy root, and it wasn't starting. I think it had been in the shop window for quite a long time, as in a good few days, and they were big windows. It was very sunny at the time, and I think most of the trees were getting fried. So I brought it home, put it in a little bit of shade, trying to encourage it to come back, and it has come back very, very strong. It's flowered quite nicely. As you can see, it's looking a little bit healthier than the other tree. But again, I think these are getting to the point where they've had a lot of sun, and they're not doing so well because of it, but it was a case of trying to encourage them and give them some energy from the sun, as well as encourage them just to get over the shock of being repotted. But very pretty little interesting tree, some really nice branch structure going on inside. I have clipped it down a lot because these were quite a mess, so it's had a fairly healthy trim originally for just for the sake of being able to get inside and see what's going on inside. There's still bits of that, or evidence of that, where there's the branch or dead leaf inside still. There's another Carmona. Got a couple of them, very pretty little trees. This one is recently arrived. Again, this is just within the last week I've bought this one, and it's a Gilda Rose. But as you see here, I've done nothing to this yet. I don't know with this one yet. I've not really done much reading up on it, but I saw it and I thought it was quite cute. I saw some potential in going onwards and upwards, shall we say, into something more my styling. Obviously, some leaf production would have to go on and such, but as it stands, for the price I paid for it, it's quite a beautiful look tree and has some interesting starting properties to deal with. So. Plus, again, it's a case of I have got one of the species, so it's one to work with and learn from. Now, moving on to another Acer. This one's slightly bigger, and this was a rescue job, shall we say. I saw it in a nursery being sold as bonsai. It was in a much smaller pot than it's in now. As you can see, it was left outside a lot. The leaves on it are really, really quite poor. It seemed to be suffering. There wasn't any new growth on it, or there was very much evident it wasn't being looked after properly, and it was a case of I don't think it had long left. So for a very modest sum, I decided to bring it home and see what we can do with it. As I said, there was no signs of new growth on it when I got it. I got it home, I had a look inside the pot, and it was not necessarily root bound, but there wasn't much quality to the medium it was in. The soil was quite poor for what it needed to be, and it was a case of I think, right, well, it's either repot it or this is just going to die. I've basically spent the money and bought a pot, which now I don't really like doing, but so I spent a bit of time trying to trim it down and give it a little bit of chance to send its energy where it needed to go when it actually got hold of some. Got it up to the point where I could give it a few rotations of fertiliser. It's been watered carefully, it's got some sunlight, and basically it's had some fair amount of attention. I also did do a little bit of wiring on this to separate the branches out a little bit and try and encourage it a little bit more, because it was quite the styling of it wasn't really conducive to it getting as much light to the leaves as possible. It sprung back a little bit, which is fine, but it certainly will be getting more light to the branches it has got now, and to the leaves more importantly. And that seems to be evident in the fact that we've got quite a bit of new growth coming in now. There was absolutely no buds on this before, there was no signs of extra life coming into it, and it's thrown out buds there. It's even got little starting buds all over the place now, so I'd say it's definitely on its return to health as long as we keep maintaining what's going on with it, and hopefully that will turn into an interesting tree, because it's got some very nice Nabari structure on it. And again, there's some interesting characters there, and there's the story behind it's always nice, because there is a story there, and you know, for a rescue job, hopefully it's one that will turn around and become a success. I have had to go in certain places with the knob cutters and take care of some of the more vigorous work that had been done to it previously, so they could try and attempt to call it bonsai. Not that I'm saying it is now bonsai, but it was being sold as a bonsai tree, but there was some serious gnarling going on and some very sloppy work, so I've tried to clean that up a little bit. More will be done in time as the tree gets stronger. I was just taking off the bits of dead stuff that really weren't helping the tree get along. Anyway, that's the Japanese Acer, otherwise known as the 3am Acer for me, because that's what time I usually end up working on this tree, and the missus comes downstairs wondering where I am. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, hence the 3am Acer. This next one's, again, not your average bonsai stock, I don't think. Unimus Fortunae, otherwise known as an emerald and gold. This is weird because it's a very green tree. It takes some time for the leafage, the branches to mature and go brown. As you can see there, it's very green still back there. I have been in and shaped this a little bit with some wire just to make it a little bit more interesting, because there wasn't very much character to it when I first got it. So I have tried to give it a little bit of shape and character just for now, just so it's a pretty little thing that can sit there for a while till it strengthens up, and you know, I can understand and see that it's not to everybody's taste, but it's just a case of spread it out a little bit, because it was very compact when it wasn't doing itself any favours, just allowing the light to get in between to make the most of the leaves that it's got. Not really much more to say about that one, because I haven't really read up on that one yet. That's going to be quite far down the queue of the ones I want to get involved with heavily and start working on, but for now it suits the pot, and it looks quite cute as far as I'm concerned. Right, as I mentioned earlier, one thing I will show you is the trays that I use. I did mention the fact that I use these as big humidity trays. Rather than using the individual ones, I can move the trees around a lot faster and work on them a lot quicker if I have to take them inside or outside, depending on what the weather's like. But yeah, essentially it's a cat litter tray, and I hope you can see that it's full of cat litter. You have to be very careful in the choice of cat litter you use. The one that I mentioned I used and is being used here is the Tesco own brand stuff. It's the low dust lightweight cat litter. At the moment it currently comes in a cream and pinkish packaging. Once it has been cleaned out thoroughly, I tend to just rinse it out again and again until the water runs clear. I know some other bonsai enthusiasts microwave it as well. I don't seem to have gone that far, to be honest, but I use it on the bonsai trees, and also I keep carnivorous plants, and they don't seem to mind, and if they don't mind and the bonsai don't seem to mind, then I think just rinsing it out heavily and thoroughly tends to do the job. One beautiful thing about this system is it does help let you know when things need watering or need a good misting, because when this stuff dries out it goes a very light shade of pink. Let me just see if I can actually find some that needs or is dry. I just come behind the camera. Yeah, there's some. Right, I hope you can see this. Let's have a look. As you can see, there is a big difference in the shading there of the stuff that's wet or moist and or hydrated to what it goes like when it's dry. and that's a very, very visible indication that you really should be giving that a good misting, or allowing it to get wet again. Just tip that on there, so hopefully you can see the contrast, and straight away that's very, very noticeable. If you have patches of the light pink turn up, it means you obviously got a dry spot. And this is one of the beautiful things about this stuff. Not only is it cheap, which it actually is compared to your general bonsai grit, or your bonsai grade size grit, or if you really are such a very, very into your bonsai, you're spending a small fortune on akadama, which is at the moment ecologically not a very sound investment because of the incident that happened in Japan with the nuclear power plant. Obviously there's going to be a very, very large shortage of akadama in the near future, and the prices will reflect that because it will just get more and more expensive. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of bonsai enthusiasts are either moving to molar clay, which I believe this is a form of, or looking for other sources of keeping their bonsai trees well draining or free draining, and obviously humidified from underneath. But this is a really good alternative, and it's one that's easy to get hold of. Again, if you're in the UK, there are other alternatives across the world, I believe. Check your local bonsai club, or the bonsai forums online, which are always a fantastic resource for information. Sorry. Right, that's that for that tray, and that shows you obviously the humidity tray, doing it the cheap and easy and convenient way. I hope they find that useful.